As the 2022 NASCAR season winds down, there is a noticeable absence of an Alex Bowman. Bowman has been missing from the action since the 30th race of the season at the Texas Motor Speedway, when he got injured with a concussion from a relatively gentle bop into the wall. With the history of concussions from the next gen and recently in general from drivers, it can't be understated just how much of a mystery Alex Bowman's future is. So today we're going to look into some of the factors that can give us insight onto if Bowman's going to get back like nothing ever happened, or if there might be issues in the future. So let's look into it. Starting off, let's look at the trajectory of Alex's career at Hendrick so far. Alex went full-time at Hendrick in 2018, so we'll start there. In his first season with HMS, while he didn't get a win, he had 3 top 5s and 11 top 10s, and a 17th place average finish. And over time, all of these numbers have had an increase. In 2019, he had 4 more top 5s than he did in 2018 and another top 10, and his average finish increased by almost 3 positions. And it stayed virtually the same in 2020, with the only difference being that he had 3 more top 10s and he led a career high 440 laps. In 2021, it felt like Alex's breakout season. He had the most top 5s, top 10s in his career. He had also the most wins in his career at 4. So far to this day, this is Alex's only multi-win season. And then this past year, in the 30 races he started, he had a win, 4 top 5s, and 12 top 10s. And while he has been pretty good and shown flashes, I don't think that these numbers alone give the full picture of what Alex can do in the 48 car. Another thing that I'm looking at is how often Alex can keep his 48 car on the track and how often he can keep it on the lead lap. In 2021, he had his best career percentage of lead lap finishes at 69%. Nice. That is 25 of his 36 starts were lead lap finishes, meaning only 11 were off the lead lap. But that had went down in 2022, 30 races in, to 63%, or 19 of those starts, meaning that he would literally have to have finished the last 6 races on the lead lap. And seeing how the 48 team has performed in those races, as well as just the all-around chaos of the NASCAR Cup Series this year, that was going to be a tough task. And the 63% that he has in 2022 of lead lap finishes is his lowest since 2018, when he had 58% of his starts on the lead lap. So there's a noticeable regression when it comes to Alex being competitive enough to stay on the lead lap. And then you have DNFs. Alex, for the most part, has been pretty good about keeping his car on the track. And he has had no more than 6 DNFs in a season in his Hendrick Motorsports career so far. Unfortunately, those 6 came in 2022, meaning that 20% of his starts were him going off of the track. And that by far is the largest and is a worrying trend for him. You see, in 2019, he only had 2 DNFs, or 6% of his starts. But since then, it's went up to 4 in 2020, 5 in 2021, and of course the 6 we've talked about so far this year. So far, it means that 1, he has not been able to keep his car on the lead lap as much this year, so the speed isn't there, and also he hasn't been able to keep his car on the track as much as he has in recent years. If Bowman is going to have a good career moving forward, he needs to be on the lead lap more, and he needs to definitely keep his car on track more. And on top of that, he needs to lead more laps. In the 5 years that he's been at Hendrick full-time, he's only led over 200 laps once in 2020 with 440, and this year he led 136. Again, his lowest since 2018's 71 laps led. So Bowman has some work to do on his performance when or if he comes back at full strength. Now, that ability all lies on the way that he's able to heal from his concussion. And luckily for Alex, he is a relatively young driver. Not even being 30 years old yet, heading into 2023, he will be 29, meaning that he has that youth on his side. So even if he's not able to go back at full strength starting the year, he has a bright and very long future ahead of him if he elects to do so. And with that young age means that he's going to have plenty of potential. Drivers normally peak in their late 30s and early 40s. Bowman is a decade away from his peak performance, and when you look at the performance he's had so far, it's not honestly far off from guys like Ryan Blaney, who is somebody who many people think is any day now, any year now, going to turn into a championship contender. This all relies on his future as well at Hendrick Motorsports, and this is one that many have questioned, especially with the 2022 silly season. But with 2022 silly season pretty much being over and 2023's kind of being solidified of what it's going to be, it looks for the most part like Bowman has a pretty straightforward future with Hendrick. His contract is up after 2023. That can't be overstated, because if he comes back and completely lays an egg, Hendrick probably is going to be looking for another driver or is going to sign him to a shorter deal. But the good thing is sponsor Ally seems very devoted to Alex, and this is one of the only sponsors that covers the car for the entirety of the year. So the 48 car is paid for, the driver is somebody who the sponsor really likes. That all goes in Bowman's favor. And what else I think goes in Bowman's favor is the fact that he has a new man atop the box in crew chief Blake Harris. Blake Harris, if you don't know, has given Michael McDowell and Front Row Motorsports their best season yet. And with no disrespect to Michael or to Front Row, because I think both of which are severely underrated, that is absolutely incredible. To see the fact that this crew chief, in his first year being a crew chief, gave McDowell his so far only multi-top 10 season is a feat that can't be underestimated. And seeing how he's with a C-tier team trying to become a B-tier team, going to what is arguably the best team in the business in Hendrick Motorsports will be a great upgrade. And if he's able to dial in setups the way he has with the 34 on the 48, Bowman is going to have no excuses because he might have some of the best, if not the best cars out there. But what is really good for him in his Hendrick career is the fact that there's no real great free agents that Hendrick can plug into the 48 car to replace him either. Even if Hendrick was looking for somebody, nobody's out there. So it looks like Bowman should be a staple of Hendrick Motorsports for the foreseeable future. Now, like we've stated before, this all really hinges on the fact that Alex Bowman has to be healthy. He's been out for 5 weeks if you include next week at Martinsville, and it's pretty likely that he's not going to return to Phoenix. There's really no point, and why would he do so with the threat of getting injured again when there's really nothing to gain from coming back except racing at your hometown? It's really a mystery at the moment how hurt he is, and that is going to bring a lot of questions throughout the offseason. Will Bowman be ready to go? How bad is the concussion really? He hasn't been as public as others have, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. had, or like Kurt Busch has this year. And the Kurt Busch injury and the waves that injury sent through the garage cannot be understated. Who knows? Does this concussion rattle Bowman, or does it help him focus more? So, with saying all that, what's the verdict? In my opinion, as long as Bowman's healthy, I think he has a long future in that 48 car. Hendrick had supported him when he had the option probably to go after somebody like a Kyle Busch, go after a Tyler Reddick in the future, go after somebody who could replace Bowman, and he didn't. Hendrick's devoted to him, the sponsor's devoted, they got a new crew chief ready to go, and Bowman seems to be still, while having one down year compared to the last 4, seems to be performing at the best level he can. Plus, he has plenty of upside being very young. So now with that, I'm going to pass it on to you. What do you think the future holds for Alex Bowman? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and until next time, have a good one.